From the day my daughter was born, my mother-in-law treated her differently. She smiled when other people were around, held her for pictures, bought tiny dresses and posted them online like she was the proudest grandmother in the world. But when no one was watching, something in her face changed. Cold, distant, like every time she looked at my daughter, she was searching for something that wasn't there. At first, I told myself I was imagining it. New motherhood had me exhausted. I barely slept. Everything felt emotional. But then the comments started. Little things. Small enough that if I repeated them out loud, they sounded harmless. But the way she said them, that was what made my stomach twist. My daughter, Lily, had dark curly hair. My husband, Ethan, had straight blonde hair. And his mother never let that go. The first time she said it, Lily was only 3 months old. She stared at the baby in my arms and laughed lightly. Funny, she said. No one in our family has hair like that. The room went quiet for just a second. I smiled awkwardly. It must come from my side. She didn't smile back. Maybe, she said. After that, it got worse. Every family dinner, every holiday, some new little remark. Her eyes are so dark. She doesn't really look like Ethan as a baby. Genetics can be surprising, can't they? Always said with that fake sweet tone. Always just enough to make everyone uncomfortable, but never enough for anyone to call her out. I told Ethan it bothered me. He brushed it off at first. That's just how Mom is, he said. She talks without thinking. But deep down, I could tell he noticed it too, because every time she made one of those comments, he would go quiet, and that silence scared me more than anything. Then one Sunday, everything changed. We were at his parents' house for lunch. The weather was warm, so everyone was sitting outside. I went inside to put Lily down for a nap in the guest room. She had just fallen asleep when my phone started buzzing. It was my sister calling. I stepped outside to answer. Only gone for maybe 2 minutes. When I came back, my mother-in-law was standing beside the crib. Her hand was in Lily's hair. I froze. She pulled away so quickly, it was almost suspicious. Oh, she said, smiling too fast. I was just checking if she was warm. Something felt wrong immediately, but I didn't want to start a fight over a feeling, so I picked up Lily and left the room. Still, that image stayed in my mind. Her fingers tangled in my daughter's hair, like she was taking something. A week later, she invited Ethan to lunch. Just the two of them. That alone was strange. She usually insisted on family lunches, not private ones. When Ethan came home that night, he looked pale. He barely touched dinner. I asked him what was wrong. At first, he said nothing. Then he finally looked at me, and what he said made my blood run cold. Mom gave me something today, he said quietly. My heart started pounding. What? He swallowed hard. Then he reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out an envelope. White, sealed, already opened. He placed it on the table between us, and for a moment, neither of us moved. Then he said the words I will never forget. She had Lily DNA tested. The room spun. I stared at him. Sure, I had heard wrong. She what? He looked ashamed. She took a sample without telling us. She said she needed proof. My hands went numb. Proof? Proof of what? Then he said the thing that shattered everything. She thinks Lily isn't mine. I couldn't breathe. All those comments, the strange looks, the way she touched Lily's hair that day. It wasn't in my head. She had been planning this. I grabbed the envelope with shaking hands. The test results were inside. Official. Stamped. Real. My eyes scanned the page. And then I stopped, because the first line didn't say what any of us expected. Not even close. I looked up at Ethan. His face had gone completely white, because the results didn't just answer her accusation. They exposed something far worse. Something his mother never meant anyone to know. And the moment she realized what was on that paper, our entire family changed forever. I read the first line again, thinking I had misunderstood it. But the words didn't change. The DNA test confirmed that Ethan was Lily's biological father. There was no question, no doubt. My mother-in-law's accusation had been completely wrong. For 1 second, I felt relief. Then I saw the second page, and everything stopped. It wasn't just a paternity test. She had ordered a broader family comparison, probably thinking it would strengthen her case. Instead, it exposed something she never expected. According to the results, Ethan was not biologically related to his father at all. I looked at him, unable to speak. He stared at the page like it was written in another language. "That's impossible," he whispered. I wanted to say the lab made a mistake, that there had to be some explanation, but deep down, we both knew why his mother had gone behind our backs. She had been obsessed with Lily's appearance because she was projecting her own fear. She saw dark hair and dark eyes and assumed I had cheated, because decades earlier, she had done exactly that. Ethan stood up so fast his chair nearly fell. He grabbed his keys and the envelope. "I'm going to their house." I followed without even thinking. When we got there, his parents were in the kitchen, acting like it was a normal evening. His mother smiled the second she saw us, but the smile disappeared when she noticed the papers in Ethan's hand. She knew. Before anyone said a word, she knew. Ethan dropped the envelope on the table. His father looked confused. "What's this?" No one answered. Ethan's voice was shaking. "You had my daughter tested?" His mother's face went pale. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Then his father turned to her. Slowly, "What is he talking about?" She tried to speak, tried to explain, but Ethan pulled out the second page and slid it across the table. His father picked it up, read the first few lines, and then the color drained from his face. The silence in that room was unbearable. No one moved. No one breathed. Finally, his father looked up at her, 30 years of marriage in his eyes, and only one question. Who is his real father? His mother started crying instantly, but no one comforted her, because in one selfish attempt to destroy me, she had destroyed her own secret, and there was no taking it back. His mother broke down right there in the kitchen. Between sobs, she admitted everything. More than 30 years ago, before she married Ethan's father, she had an affair. She thought the truth would stay buried forever. When Ethan was born, she convinced herself he was her husband's child and never questioned it again. But when Lily was born, something about her dark features triggered that old fear. She became obsessed. The more she looked at my daughter, the more she saw the secret she had spent decades hiding. That's why she took the DNA test. She wasn't trying to protect her son. She was trying to prove that someone else was just like her. But the results exposed the truth she had been running from all along. Ethan's father said nothing. He simply took off his wedding ring, placed it on the table, and walked out. And in that moment, my mother-in-law realized she hadn't just accused me. She had destroyed her own family. She admitted everything. Years ago, she had an affair and always feared Ethan wasn't her husband's son. She tested my daughter to expose me. Instead, the DNA exposed her. Ethan's father quietly took off his ring, placed it on the table, and walked away. In one moment, her secret of 30 years destroyed everything.